Okay, Zach. This would be your grandpa, and I'm probably a little bit younger now than when you will know me at around age, I don't know, 20, 30, or 50 or whatever. But I want to talk to you as if you were the age, and I can only guess, the age that you will be when you're watching these. Now, I plan um, to give you to let you know about these blogs when you're 20 or so, maybe when you get off of your mission. Honestly, I haven't figured that out yet, but I kind of wanted to create a journal for you. Um, I was in church yesterday and I mentioned that I was doing this sort of thing, and the instructor was surprised and impressed. And so I thought about it. I guess I'm on the right track doing these. As you know, I've been writing these blogs. Because writing is forever, and that's what I could think of at the time. But down here in my office, I have all of this audio and video equipment. And yes, I could have dispensed of the microphone, but the audio wouldn't have been as good, and I'd rather it be better for you. Anyway, so I thought, writing is one thing, but let's make it as personal as we can, because I have this equipment and I can do this for you. One of my worries, actually, I go, if you're watching this 20 years from now, I'm thinking, man, I go back 20 years in technology then. There wasn't even cell phones 20 years ago, or it was considered to be a weird invention that only the richest of people used, and there wasn't anybody to call really. Way too expensive. So I'm thinking, okay, 20 years from now, it's who knows if you can even get to this. I kind of think about the playing records on right now it's CDs, but I'm thinking, back when I was little, you'd play records, and there was these black plastic vinyl albums, and you'd put a needle on them, and you could listen to your songs. And, those records got scratched, they got worn out, they got warped, 100 things happened to them. And right now, I wouldn't even know how to play a record. And so, one of the things I was concerned about is doing technology that is going to be ancient history to you, because anymore, 20 years in the past is probably going to be doubled 3 or 4 or 5 years in the future. In any case, I'm going to take that risk and do this video and hope that when you see this, you can understand, you can get to it and still have the technology to open it up and listen and all those sorts of things. I'm going to recap, because this is the first time I've done audio and video to you. My goal is to talk to you as if you were, I don't know, 20 or 30 or maybe even my age, 55 right now, so that I could talk to you as a friend and just tell you what I see and expect and I know of you, and give you a little bit of flavor of my vision for you when you're older. I think I'll tell the story. And by the way, this is the kind of stuff that you should probably consider to be sacred, because I do. I'm going to start with when I met you. And it was just before you were born. I felt your spirit. You weren't, your mom was in the labor room, and I was outside, and I was just sitting in a couch. And I felt you. And I felt the power of an amazing, strong, I don't even know what kinds of words to use. Amazing is probably not the right word, because that's the key word. That's the word everybody uses for everything right now. But I felt like stake president power. You are a powerful man. I think about this often. And um, the reason why I tell you this is sacred is, even though your brother right now, I don't know how many brothers and sisters you're going to have, but right now you have one brother and one sister, your cousins. Um, I haven't felt this for them yet. This is unique to you. And I don't know that that means that it's not a gift they have. I just haven't felt it. So for this to be compared to others, I guess it's kind of on the level of a patriarchal blessing. I mean, you share it carefully. Um, anyway, you came to me a few times right before you were born, and I just felt the power of an extremely powerful spirit. I don't remember what words or what thoughts you gave to me. I don't remember if it was more of a conversation, where it was, "Hi, Grandpa." Uh, but I felt like I got to know who you are and who you will be. And like I say, I've thought about that because there will be times when you feel like anything but a powerful man. I know that in my own experience, especially junior high and sometimes in high school, etc., a person gets picked on, you feel like you're out of the crowd, you feel like anything but the most powerful and amazing man in the universe. I probably will not give you access to this when you're 14. Maybe I'll tell you about it, but for right now, you're 7, and I see so much in you. I see a man who is responsive to authority and who knows leadership. You've had to take that role as the firstborn, and for quite a while, your thing was zombies, and so we've had a lot of fun over the last 2 or 3 years with zombies. Sometimes I'll call you Zomboys. For a while, you had an unseen friend that was your zombie friend, and that was cute until at some point in time, either your mom or your dad or both finally made it clear to you there's no such thing as zombies. I still think it's fun, and we still talk about zombies and that sort of thing, and brains, and I try to suck your brains out, and everybody just thinks it's funny now. It used to scare Lincoln, but anyway, hard for me to stay on track because I didn't do any bulleted points for what I wanted to talk about. Maybe I'll go there. Right now in my life, I'm doing something that is exciting for me because I am, I've got this audio and the video equipment, and I'm preparing home medic stuff. Hopefully by the time you hear this, you will have heard of it, because hopefully I will have succeeded and made $1 billion and rich and famous and all that. Right now, I'm just a guy in his basement that nobody's ever heard of before, except for perhaps you. Let's go back to you. What I see in you right now is, like I say, and I have good stories. So let's go to the stories. There's been a couple of times now. I mean, you've been in school for a few years, and you always get dressed up in some sort of an outfit. Last time around, and I'm going to show you how much memory I don't have, but I think it was a superhero outfit. And it was all kinds of cute, and of course Grandma was there, and of course Grandma was wanting to take pictures all the time, and that's what she does. And she tried to get you to stop, but you had received instructions from your teacher to not stop. So here you have these two authorities that are telling you different things to do. So when you walk past, you kind of slow down a little, and you get this screwball look on your face like, oh, who should I listen to? And then you just kept walking. And we all could see what was happening, and it was just cute. Nobody got mad at you, of course, but That's the level of good kid that you are. You'll follow authority, and nobody's going to feel bad about that. You should know that that I love you, and that life can be hard sometimes. I don't know what your path is going to be. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, I might as well record that too. I don't know what your path is going to be. Everybody gets hardships. I don't know if you're going to have sickness or cancer in your family. I don't know if you're going to have money issues. For you, I'm guessing probably not. It will be something. And thank the Lord and make the most of those challenges, because that is how you grow and how you get depth and wisdom and strength, and how you add to that. I believe that when you were in the pre-existence, you worked on a set of strengths that you thought were going to be important to you, and you developed those in the pre-existence. And then now that you are in this life, it is up to you to search out those strengths that you had pre-developed, find those, develop those, use those in a way that only can be done with your body. Find out what your greatness is and who you are. That's how you make me proud. Serve others and be yourself. I love you, Zach. I'm going to keep going because there are a couple of more interesting stories that I can tell you. This one's been kind of important and heavy, and I don't want to take away from that. But I want to make sure that I also hit some of the lighter stuff. We call you Zacharoni. Julie and I do. Only Julie and I do. Your mom and dad, they call you Zachadoodle. And then we call you Zacharoni Macaroni, and it doesn't seem to bother you. When I was little, I didn't like those sorts of things happening to me, but it's part of who you are now, and you're okay with it. That means that everybody's happy. You love to swim. You are a little water bug. When I started taking you to playgrounds, one of my goals was to make sure that you understood that you could own any playground. I didn't want to just take you to one every time and have you have fun on that one. I wanted you to be able to go to lots of different playgrounds and understand that no matter what situation you were put in, you could handle it. That was my goal with the playgrounds. Then I started taking you to places like Kangaroo Zoo, which is a huge warehouse with a whole bunch of big blow-up toys. The kind that go up 20 feet or so, and then they have slides or whatever, kind of a little obstacle course type blow-ups. I'm sure they have them when you're listening to this too. But that wasn't the greatest, because quite often Lincoln would puke after bouncing his stomach around too much. So we tried some other things, and it turned out that you guys all really liked to swim. And then I moved here to Saratoga last January, and it is it's January 2016 right now. So roughly 1 year ago, we moved here, and then I had access to the Saratoga pool. It is much less interesting as far as toys and slides. It doesn't have any of the above. The Lehigh pool, the Lehigh Legacy pool, has a whole bunch of little toys. But I thought I'd try the Saratoga pool. And you guys, it turns out that you love it. We put life jackets on you because there's really not any good areas for kids. Pretty much all of you would drown immediately, even if you got in the shallow space. But we'd put life jackets on you, and then you thought it was awesome because your life jackets would keep you up. Then one day, you saw some people jumping off the low dive board. It's one of those that's only about 4 feet up from the water, and you very timidly went to try it, and you did it. And I was all kinds of proud of you. By the way, you guys call that pool the hot pool. Lincoln says he likes it because it's hot and it's warm. Um, but you jumped off and you survived. I was there to catch you, but your life jacket popped you up in no time at all. And then you thought that was awesome. I was all kinds of proud of you, the 7-year-old boy that could jump off the low dive, because there were kids older than you that didn't want to try it. Then you went up again, and you jumped off again, and now your little brother and little sister had to try it as well. So as a result of your example, now you've got little 3-year-old Tara that is jumping off this low dive now. And she can be scary. She tries to do stuff like jump off backwards, and then she doesn't jump off far enough away, or she'll run up behind somebody else who's bouncing on the board, and then she'll fall off sideways, and it can be a little scary what she does. But we've kind of instructed her into what's safe. But you have not only tamed that dragon for yourself, but you've shown your little brother and your little sister that they can do things as well that are certainly scary for kids that are much older than them. This is who you are. You're the trailblazer. You're the one that they trust. Another one of the games that I play with, I want to make sure we are recording still. Another one of the games I play with you guys when I come over to pick you up on Tuesdays is sometimes I tell one of you that I'm going to give you a swirly, which is a dip your head in the toilet and flush it, or, dip you in the snow, or just some crazy little thing. And all three of you come together. Lincoln will say, "That's my brother," or "That's my sister," and that basically means I am protecting them from you, and we're family, and you don't get to torture my family. You guys love each other. You do torture each other, but nobody else gets to do that. That's kind of beautiful. I'll finish up this audio, but Zach, you are made for greatness. You have developed, and again, I believe that you have developed yourself, your spirit, your strengths, your characteristics in the pre-existence, so that you can do massive things in this world. That will come when you take those talents and run with them, and when the Lord allows you to do so. Yearn for those talents to be exposed to you and made available to you, so that you can become who you already are, in a way, so that who you are can be brought to the surface, and that you can meet the measure for your creation. I love you, Zacharoni. We'll do this again.